Hello, hello, everyone. It is Natasha. We are back again with the nitty gritty of parenting. Matter of fact, I just put my little ones down for bed, so hopefully that's where they want to stay. So if you hear some mommy somewhere or something else in between, do not be alarmed. Like I said, I keep it real. This is what I do. I am one, a child of God first, but I am a mom, and sometimes I don't get to do all the activities as pristine and quiet. One day, I will get those like noise canceling equipment and all the fancy stuff, but for right now, I'm just gonna be me and I'm gonna do the best with what I got. Okay? All right. And I really hope you guys enjoyed those last two podcasts. I'm definitely going to increase the frequency of me putting up podcasts because I really, really, really want to connect with people who are just trying to do the best they can. They are trying to not traumatize the ones that they're responsible for raising up. I mean, they are trying to keep their mind sane, keep the place where they live in a decent condition because, Lord, that is so important, and do it with a smile. I tell you what, unless the birds are chirping and the sun is hitting just right and I got a full stomach and the kids aren't running, I am usually not scrubbing my kitchen with a smile. I'm just kind of like, how long is this really going to take me? And then I realize this isn't probably going to be like an A to B kind of thing. I'm probably going to have to jump to like T and L and maybe slide a W in there because I tell you what, I don't know if it's just me, but when I forget something. Like I have something on the counter, right? And I go, oh, this goes in the laundry room. So I go in the laundry room and I go to put it on the shelf. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, I didn't start this load of clothes. And then I go, oh, wait, I can't start this load of clothes. Let me go see if there are some left out, dirty clothes around the house, whether it's in our kids' rooms, or if it's in our room. Let me just gather them up so that I don't have to, find that one piece of clothing that could have been in the wash. And so I go around the house. I'm going into the kids' room first because kids, I don't know why they do what they do, but I tell you, they, they're like the interior designers, but in reverse. Like they are masterminds at turning a room upside down and say, we're having fun. Or no, 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 that is not fun to my brain. Why, why, why? But I digress. So I go back there and I'm like, oh yeah, here's a shirt or here's a sock or here's and then I go, oh yeah, well, I do gotta get the linen off the bed. So I put the clothes down and I started getting the linen. And then kids who loved to take their little snacks back there, you see all these little crumbs. And me, the way that I was like, oh no, no, no. We snacks and crumbs that leads to little crawly things that don't like to leave and they just do I can't have that. So then I have to put that down and I have to go get the broom and the dustpan to get up the big stuff if there's big stuff. If not, I gotta get the vacuum. Now, our vacuum is in the front of the house. So in the living room, right? So I'm walking to the front of the house from our kids' rooms and I go, oh man, look at this dining room table. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna grab this stuff real fast before I get the vacuum because it's right here and I have to pass it anyway. So I might as well do it, right? So I'm clearing off the dining table. I go put that stuff in the trash and I look in the trash and I go, oh man, the trash is full. Hey, honey, can you take out the trash? Or if he's not here, of course, now, ladies, I do, take out the trash. And my husband does not like it because he's like, you are my wife and you will not be taking out the trash. But sometimes I do. I just gotta take it out. It just gotta be gone. I just have to. So I go, I take out the trash, and then I go back, to put a trash bag in it, and I go, oh man, we're out of trash bags. Let me put that on my grocery list. And now I go to put it on my grocery list, and then I remember when I looked in the fridge last time, there were all these things missing. So now I'm adding to my grocery list. Uh oh, a kid cries. So let me go back there, get what they need, and I go, oh yeah, I forgot I was taking off these linen, and then I walk out with the linen, and then I trip over the clothes I had, and I go, oh yeah, I was supposed to put this all in the laundry room. So let me just take it all with me. Get in there, start the laundry load, and I go, oh, okay. And then I go back to our room, and I go, oh man, I was getting laundry for everybody. So I'm like, okay, it's fine. I'll put it with the next load. But as I'm in our room, I go, look at, there's a cup here, and then, there's a bowl. I said, okay, let me go take this to the kitchen. Take it to the kitchen. Oh yeah, I was doing dishes. Start doing dishes again. Another kid cries. And I'm like, did I really just do that? Did my brain really just take me on this whole circus just to have me interrupted when I finally get back to that original activity, and then don't have guests coming over? Because I promise you, I'm not the only mom. When guests come over, it seems like every speck of dirt is noticeable. You can see it all of a sudden. Those door jams and those I was gonna say wall shams. I don't even know what that is, but I feel like somebody might know what that is. Those door jams and wall shams. That's gonna be my new thing of the week. I gotta clean them wall shams. They're not clean enough, right? And then you're looking around like, oh man, they're gonna have to sit in here. Now, I I tell people, hey, if you come over uninvited, there's no telling what you're gonna see. I we don't live dirty, we don't live super messy, but we have children. Children will take activities from here to there and leave them everywhere. Okay. So I start looking around and I'm like, oh man, okay, well let me just spruce it up a little bit. I don't know what parent really ever, when they spruce, you see, that's my baby doll. And I said, this is a real podcast, okay? This is real. I don't know if you guys could hear her, but she was definitely unhappy about whatever was on the screen in there. And so, back to what I was saying. See, my brain was getting ready to do it again. Y'all gotta help me. Y'all gotta help me. So I get to sprucing, but then I find this one area and I kind of, straighten it up a little bit. But then my eye catches another area and I'm like, dang, okay, let me grab that too. Finish that little thing. Next thing you know, I have spent all this time, quote, air quote, sprucing, and now I have this spick and span living room. But you know what I also created? I created chaos in my mind because now when I look up at the dining room or the kitchen, now they're not meeting the quota. Okay? They are not qualified to be seen by guests. So now I have to rush. Now I have to rush and clean up something that I said I wasn't going to do. I said I was going to just tidy it up. No, 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 no. Now I have to get it ready for a fiesta, okay? Because apparently I must be hosting a party. It must be the gala. It must be like there must be the party of all parties about to happen, okay? And the most elite of my family must be about to show up the way that I really dive into cleaning. And then when I finish all of that and my guests come over, I'm yawning. I'm like, I mean, it's been a great 5 minutes. I really enjoyed your company. Didn't you say you have some errands to run? Like, I cannot be the only parent. I cannot be the only person that has done all of this and you're feeling good. You didn't lit your candle, or your incense. Some people use those. I really love those incense from like the 90s that just give that distinct grandmama house smell with the waffle. Anyway, I'm not gonna get into that. But you've done all that and you're like, oh yeah, it's so clean I could take a nap. Like the kids ain't on 10 no more. I mean, the air condition is hitting just right. The it's the right the birds are outside. They're like, yeah, this is this is perfect nap sensationals right now. But you can't. You gotta entertain and you gotta talk and you gotta be present. Now, one thing my husband learned about me real early is when that social battery is done, I will happily excuse myself. I go shower. I might make me a little snack. I ask the guests, "Hey, you guys hungry? You know, I'll cook. I will cook a full meal for the guests just for them to be comfortable because what I'm about to do next, I'm about to go brush my teeth, make sure the kids are straight, give my husband a kiss on the forehead, and I'm going to go lay down in that wonderful cushiony bed." Okay? I Guests turn into family real fast, depending on who you are now. They turn into guests real fast. Okay, either I'll join everyone again in the living room with a blanket, my fuzzy soft blanket, and I will crisscross applesauce on a cushion somewhere, or I'll even find a spot on my own wonderful, freshly vacuumed and powdered carpet. Okay, and I will lay down and be just fine. Now, I, I might stretch out, but y'all mind your business because y'all in my house and I'm comfortable, okay? And see, and my husband's like, oh, no. And I'm like, hey, they should have presumed what it was when they came over. Okay, you came over midday. Most kids, they taking a nap right now. Mines are pretty calm. Um, welcome. You want a blanket? Like, we I believe in corporate naps. Okay? If you want to come over in a place that just feels so cozy and you just want the TV on low just enough, you can hear it a little bit. And I'm a subtitle kind of person. Okay? I like to read the screen. My husband be like, "What is wrong with you? The volume works great. We have a fantastic TV. Turn the volume up. I'm not trying to use all these brain cells to enjoy my show, but me, I love books. So when I read books, I'm not just reading words on a page. They're actually alive, like in my mind. Like I have the scene, I got the main character, I got the protagonist, the antagonist, you know, I got the whole thing going on in my mind. So when I read the screen, it's more alive than me just watching it. Like I'm really understanding it. And let's be honest, I don't know if it's just me, but sometimes when the TV's on and I'm looking at it, I can hear it just fine. But then when I look away, all of a sudden it starts sounding a little weird. Like you'd be like, what did he say? What did she say? Let me rewind it. And I find myself rewinding it all the time, even if I'm just like I'm there. But with the subtitles, oh, I'm on board. Oh no, this is what she said. You know, in those real dramatic scenes where they gotta like whisper and they gotta mumble. And I'd be like trying to crank the volume up. And then when you crank the volume all the way up, all of a sudden there's a super loud part and to scare the pants off you and wake up the baby. See, I can't afford that. I can't afford that. Okay. I, I can't do that. And you see, I just realized that I don't even really remember the topic that I started with. So we just gonna transition into what I believe I was getting on here to talk about. See, that's that mom brain. I started thinking about, okay, what do I need to make sure I have for the kids tomorrow? Okay, y'all, I am devoted to these children. You understand? Devoted. I am devoted to my faith. I am devoted to my husband. I am devoted to these children. And this podcast helps me be devoted to myself. It helps me get it all out to where I feel like I somewhat interacted with my age group. Okay, because talking to toddlers, only go so far. And talking to babies, all they want to say is no, what, huh, yeah, hmm, and they just mock you. Just adorable, adorable parrots. Okay? I don't know if there's another animal that mocks you like a parrot. I think a parrot is kind of like that typical animal that people would go to, or maybe it's just me. I don't know. But when I think about how devoted I am to these kids, I really get stirred up because I feel like it came from all of those, like I was talking about in the last episode, of how much I say, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to have this. So I'm wanting to give these kids everything that I never had, everything that I wanted. I wanted more hugs. I wanted more kisses. I wanted more stability. I wanted more communication. I wanted more understanding. I wanted more forgiveness. I wanted more chances. I wanted more, just those things that would have made transitions easier, because growing up I was like, once you mess up, oh buddy, that's it. Prepare to meet your maker. Like, each time was no less frightening than that. Okay, I'm about to get sent home to the maker of all makers. Okay, and I was like, man, I don't want my kids to ever feel like that. And when I approached the situations that way, like, okay, let's sit down and talk. Let's figure out what this is. Whatever the consequences could have already been dished out, right? But I'm like, ah, it's kind of taboo for us to, have that topic on the table after we've already dished out the consequences. Usually, you get the lashing, the tongue lashing before you get your whatever your punishment was. You get told about it, or it happens. It happens. You get the punishment. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Okay, y'all get what I'm saying. And that's it. They be like, at the end of whatever. So you better not do it no more. Did you learn your lesson? Yes, no. All right. You kind of move on. You kind of lick your wounds, and you go about your business. But I was like, I cannot do that. I have to do more than that. So in my mind, because my kids, I mean, everybody's kids, obviously, I'm going to say my kids are human. Like, yes, your kids are human. Some people say they're dogs and they're cats and they're fishes and they're lizards and they're fishes. They're fishes. See, this is why I need adult conversation, because what are fishes? They're fish. They're whatever. Those are their kids. Hey, I love it. Because before I had kids, I was like, man, I'm gonna get me a little Yorkie poo and we just gonna be living life. But anyway, see, back. I got to backpedal. Got to backpedal. I completely forgot where I was going with this. Oh, there it is. When I decided that I cannot leave these things as they are. I cannot leave you feeling sad, feeling like, oh, I don't like you, or feeling like, mommy or daddy must really hate me. Like, I don't know what's going on in your mind. Like, because you got in trouble, because you had this consequence that got dished out to you, because, I don't know what's going in your mind. And all of these, y'all, I'm sorry, y'all, there are some kids playing outside and it's super late. So, and I thought I heard one of them crying. Now I'm one of those moms. Hey, if something's happening to a child, I don't care whose child it is. It's not about to happen in my hearing, in my eyesight. I don't do that. I am a mama bear to all babies. You hear me? And I don't care if you 17, 18, 19, you are a baby and you will be protected. Okay? So that I had to pause, y'all. We were gonna have to end the podcast a little early. I don't do that. Don't mess with the babies. Don't do that. But anyhow, I was like, I cannot leave these situations like this. So, my first time talking to my daughter after she got in trouble and she already got her punishment, she already understood what was what. I felt awkward, y'all. I did. I felt so awkward talking to her because she didn't want to talk to me. I mean, of course you say, "Well, duh, you just, you just dished out a punishment. Of course she don't want to talk to you." But in my heart, in my whole soul, I'm only correcting you because I love you. So how do I show you love in the correction? Like how do I look you in your sad little face and say I love you after we just disagreed on how you should have done something or that you shouldn't have done it, you know? Like, how do I do that? And when I tell you, I had to pray before, not for understanding, not for God to, make for me to have the courage because it never happened before. Not in the sense of you're coming to reconcile. You're coming to make sure that reconciliation is on the table. You're coming to make sure that it is understood that I love you so much that I'm willing to correct you. I'm willing to accept the fact that you will be upset at me after this because it's not going to be something you like, and I still love you. Like, I thought that that was one of the hardest conversations to have when your child who you never even thought that they would not want to talk to you, like, how do I even, what do you mean you're my baby? Like, I don't care whatever happens, like, I always want to talk to you, even if I'm mad enough to be like, you know what, just stop talking, please don't stop talking, I love your voice, please don't shut down. But and that's why I'm careful about saying those kind of things. But in that moment I was like, wow, she doesn't want to really talk to me. Like, she's upset at me, you know, because of how the situation happened. But I'm like, well, how do I explain to her that it's okay to be upset about things not working out the way you wanted them to, which is you getting away with something, and also that you can still have a conversation in the midst of you feeling that way. Like, I've never done this before. When I would get upset or somebody would hurt my feelings or I'd get a spanking or I'd get punished, I want nothing to do with that person. I would shut down. I would go away. I don't have the practice. I don't got my reps in for this. I did not prepare for this race. Okay. I spent my summer on the couch eating Pop Tarts and ice cream. I am not prepared for this race. And it just kind of shook me like, hold on. You have actual feelings that one I can't decide. Like, I know that sounds weird to some people, but when you come from a different kind of background, when someone says, "Hey, you better stop doing this," or "Don't be acting like this," or "Don't be feeling that," and it's like, oh, okay, well. But when you're not doing that, and this little person who you've cared for, or this big person, whoever, says, this is how they feel, and it's valid. Like, what do I do? Like, you understand that this is what I did, but it's the way that I did it, or it's how it impacted you. Like, yes, it corrected what you did, but it also planted a seed of doubt. Like, yes, it let you know that this is not okay to do, but it also traumatized you in a certain kind of way. Like, how, I'm sorry. Like, like, I can't be the only one that's ever wanted to apologize for chastising their kids. Like, I'm sorry. Like, please, like, I don't know that it was such a weird territory that my words are getting twisted, you know? And so I just said, you know what? I got to start at some point. Either I start now or she's going to be a teenager that would rather go to somebody else before she goes to me. Or he's going to be a teenager to where he goes running out in the streets with his friends. He'd rather go confide in someone else, and now that door is closed because I didn't take the steps when they were little, when the door was open. And so I took that time and I said, you know what? I understand you may be upset about how you got in trouble. You may not have liked my tone. You may not like your punishment or your consequence. But you got to understand that if I didn't care, this just wouldn't matter. And you deserve to be cared about. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be watched out for. You deserve to have people in your life that are willing to put your safety before some temporary emotions. It takes a lot for a person to say, I'm going to step in and make things uncomfortable purposely so that I can protect you. It's hard to see the protection from your perspective right now because it's new to you or because it may have been distorted by somebody who really didn't love you. You see what I'm saying? A lot of us growing up, we take correction or we take, guidance and advice or criticism or just a flat out no. We take it so harshly because people who didn't know what genuine love was corrected us, but they didn't do it with love and we knew it. They didn't yell at us because they cared about us and we knew it. It was obvious. It was something that was translated in the way that they did things that confirmed to us that they did not care as deeply as they made it seem. And so that distortion evolves into a defensiveness that we use towards people and even our kids. If our kids say, "Mom, that was really mean. Mom, that really hurt my feelings. Dad, that really made me feel like X, Y, and Z." What's the first thing we do? Oh, you just, no, 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 no. You're really saying, can you help me understand how to process what you did or how you did it? Can you help me not become cold hearted towards you in my little mind because I'm not seeing this the way that you see this? I understand that you said, don't do this. You don't want me to do this. You said this is not safe, or you said this is not right, or a young lady shouldn't do this, or a young man shouldn't do this. I understand the logic behind it, but can you help me with this other piece? See, we sometimes get so black and white. We get so plain. It's just plain. Obviously, don't do that. It's obvious that you should not do that. Okay, I understand. And then they go off and they go, wow, that was really mean. How, when did emotions get into it? That's why we have to talk with them because they aren't just processing things black and white. Mama says I can't go out to play because it's raining. That's so messed up. I see other kids, they got rain boots, they got a coat, they play in the rain. So they're upset and their emotions become more important than the logic. And when we go, why are you upset? I'm really doing what's best for you. Why don't you understand? You can't go do that. But if we take a second and being like, okay, how did it make you feel when I said that? He goes, well, it it kind of made me upset. it kind of made me sad. It made me feel disappointed when the words say disappointment will always come, it'll always be there. We have to teach them how to deal with it, how to process it. We think, oh, well, they'll get over it. I heard that so many times. Oh, you'll get over it. You'll get over it. But what if they don't? What if they don't? What if they forget about it in that moment and then the next time somebody comes to correct them, the next time that they can't do something, it's just stacked on top. It's just stacked on top. It's just stacked on top. And then when they become adult, we don't understand why they're so angry. Why are you so angry? Why do you snap so much? Why are you impatient so quickly? And we never think back to where we didn't even show them how to process it. We just said, figure it out. And I was like, I don't want that for my children. I refuse to let them just be. And in this moment where I'm talking to my daughter and she's telling me how I conveyed my disappointment hurt her feelings. Now, my first initial reaction was to get upset. Why are you upset? And I'm helping you. I said this internally. I was upset because, man, dog, I'm just trying to do the best for you, and now your feelings are hurt. Oh my goodness, there's something else. Like, I'm just trying. Matter of fact, can I just leave it like that? I'm just trying. And you're upset. And now I feel bad because I love you so much. I want you to be happy all the time. But that's irrational because you're not going to be happy because you're not going to get to do everything that you want to do because it's not safe. So I'm telling her, I understand how you feel. I'm acknowledging that this is how she feels. I'm acknowledging that whatever was said was still said. I said, but I want you to know just because I am temporarily upset, that has nothing to do with what I think about you. You are still amazing. You are still wonderful. You are still growing. You are still honest. You still have integrity, even if she just told a fib, told a story, told a lie. We grew up saying you can call no grown folk no liar. Oh no, 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 no. That was a sin all by itself. Okay, you could not do that. Mm-mm. Even if she had just did that. Now, the reason I say that is we already handled that situation. We already addressed why her telling a story is not okay. It doesn't show your integrity. It doesn't show your willingness to cooperate in the environment, which means I tell the truth, you tell the truth. It keeps you safe, it keeps me safe. It works for everybody, you being honest. And I let her know that you making a mistake right here does not take that trait away from you. That just highlights to me that that's a trait that we need to work more on. We need to exhibit that more for you. Whether it's laziness and she's leaving her stuff everywhere, or our younger kids, they're just throwing their toys everywhere, or they're responding negatively. You're just highlighting to us that we need to exhibit the traits that we would want you to have more openly and more frequently, because like I said in the last podcast, that do as I say and not as I do shenanigan quote does not work. It's ideal for a lazy parent who doesn't actually want to change. It works perfectly for the parent that wants to continue living. I don't even know the correct word for whatever it is that some people do, some role models do, but we can't keep doing that and then turning around and saying, I better not catch you doing that. You better not be that way. You better not be. Well, how else are they going to be, sugar? They only doing what they see. The people around you are only reflections of you. Whether that's a big part of you, a small part of you, a tiny, tiny bit of you, or all of you. We attract what we are. I'm sure there's some like logical, theological, scientological. Yeah, I said it. I said it. I said it. I can't repeat it because I don't even know what that was, but I said it. So there's some reason as to why, and some people say, well, we raise them the best that we can and they're out there doing this. Well, look back at the small stuff. Maybe there was something in there that you missed. Maybe it's just something so minute as to acknowledging how to deal with correction. Because most of the time, when you say, Johnny, that's hot, he goes, huh? That's hot. That would hurt. Ouch. And he goes, ouch? Hmm. And Johnny might still be tempted to touch whatever it is that's hot. And then one day Johnny gets access and he goes, ow, ouch, that hurt. And you go, yeah, that hurt, huh? Yeah, let's not do that anymore. And he goes, yeah, no more. Walks away. Now he knows that's hot. But then there's those people that will fly off the handles. Didn't I tell you that that's hot? What is wrong with you? You are. And now Johnny received the correction, but now he's afraid. Every time he goes near the area, he's jumpy, he's skittish. He doesn't want to try anything else because what if it is hot? And even if it is hot, what if he gets too close? Is he gonna get in trouble? Or what if something else is hot? I don't even want to do it. Anything that's hot, I just completely want to stay away from it. Now I know that escalated very quickly, but how do we know kids don't think like that? If we are constantly over the top with something without thinking of the next moment, without thinking of the future impact of something, then we're just creating kids and hoping we can catch them along the way. Like, I just don't want to do that. I know I want to give our kids so many things that I didn't have. I know I want to address things in a way that I hadn't addressed them or they didn't get addressed to me as. And trying to do that is hard, okay? Especially if you're surrounded by a culture or your community that you grew up in and nobody is doing it that way. You're trying to go against the grain and they're like, nah, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. Oh no, no, no. That's wrong. This is a new way to do it. And you're trying to keep your sanity. When I tell you it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Let people say what they're going to say. Let people look how they're going to look. They're not living with you. They're not helping you with no bills. They're not helping you raise this child to not be an assassin unless you are training them to be an assassin. And then, let's just be friends, okay? But it's okay. It's okay. My grandmama used to say, opinions are like, you know, everybody got one. And it's okay because you're not wiping they behind, you wiping your kids behind. So you let what works for you and your kids in a healthy, flourishing, constantly increasing manner be just that. Okay? You doing all right? And I, for one, understand. Okay? It gets hard. These kids get on your nerves. They want to touch stuff. They need most stuff. It's always something. And sometimes you want to be like, you know what? I want that remote that was on that. I think it was the movie was Click, and he could like pause things or rewind things. I think that's what that movie was called. But sometimes you want one of those universal remotes to be like, pause. I'm gonna take a 4 hour nap. Don't disintegrate. Don't move. Nothing. I'm stopping everything right now. This very second. It's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with you. Them kids will be all right. And you all right. All right. I just had I just I just had to get that out there. I love y'all. I'll see y'all next time.